Hey yo, what is good YouTube? Yo, what is good YouTube? It's your boy Chad again, bringing y'all another video. And today we're going to be talking about the U.S. border crisis. So as we know, right now at the border, we have the influx of, well, immigrants really. All types of kids, all types of parents, everything. And it's become so overrun. Now, why is the border overrun? So the border's overrun because one, when Trump was in office, he had policies in place to where people came over here, they were getting sent back over and over again because the way you go from an immigrant, illegal immigrant, to becoming a citizen is you just go through the normal citizenship. And when it comes to like things like amnesty and things like that, people think you just come over here and say, I need amnesty. You can't just come over and say you need amnesty. You have to go through a process to be able to get amnesty. And amnesty is like if you're being persecuted where you're coming from and things like that. So underneath Biden, Biden's gotten rid of all of Trump's policies basically at the border. And so you just have people just coming in, just coming in. And it's gotten to the point where it's an overload of people at the border. And when now people are like, because let's just go back to what Biden promised. So he ran on the promise of, the border is going to be secure. We're not going to have it nothing like Trump's. And it's actually worse than what it was underneath Trump. And so it's just like, what are we even doing at the border, Biden? About 5 days ago, when people asked him, like, Biden, like the border, it's a crisis happening. Are you going to allow the media to go and record so that we can see what's going on at the border?
Very much, Mr. President. Given the conditions that were just laid out at the migrant facilities at the U.S. border, will you commit to allowing journalists to have access to the facilities that are overcrowded moving forward?
I will commit when my plan very shortly is underway to let you have access to not just them, but to other facilities as well.
How soon will journalists be able to have access to the facilities? We've obviously been allowed to be inside one, but we haven't seen the facilities in which children are packed together to really give the American people a chance to see that. Will you commit to transparency on this issue?
I will commit to transparency. And as soon as I am in a position to be able to implement what we're doing right now, and one of the reasons I haven't gone down, I have all my chief folks have gone down, is I don't want to become the issue. I don't want to be, bringing all the Secret Service and everybody with me to get in the way. So this is being set up, and you'll have full access to everything once we get this thing moving.
Okay, and just to be clear, how soon will that be, Mr. President?
I don't know, to be clear.
And he's like, no, they're like, also, are you going to allow transparency? And he's like, no, I'm going to allow, yes, I would definitely allow transparency, but after we have a plan together. Now, Biden's been in office since January, and it's now almost April, and I see no plan. And he claims he had a plan when he was running, but there's no plan. So it's just like, what is he talking about? I thought this was supposed to be the most transparent, administration there is.
The Vice President Harris and I and our entire administration will always be honest and transparent with you about both the good news and the bad.
And when he's talking about transparency, having these plans that don't exist, it's like even Senator Cruz. So I'm gonna play the video that y'all can see the people asking the question. Then you have Senator Cruz, Ted Cruz, Texas. He went down to the border to try to see, what's going on here, because Biden will not allow the press to go film. Like he's actually said, like, we're not allowing the press down there. Now, the thing is, if you don't allow the press to, now the press is free press, so they keep both sides, non-biased, they're supposed to. And so the people of the U.S. can get a good picture of what's going on. So when Biden's not allowing the press, it's like, you're not allowing the press to go see the border. what are you trying to cover up? If the media cannot go see the border, but you're claiming you're so transparent.
We'll always be honest and transparent with you about both the good news and the bad.
And they'll be able to, once you have a plan, but there is no plan, then what are you doing? So Senator Ted Cruz went down to the border and he's trying to film and show what the people look like down there at the border.
Please respect. Please give dignity to the people. Please give dignity to the people.
So you worked for the commissioner, your senior advisor. You were hired 2 weeks ago, and you're instructed to ask us to not have any pictures taken here.
Please respect the people,
because the
rules.
political leadership at DHS does not want the American people to know it.
Please respect the
You
rules,
keep
sir.
standing in front of the pictures, so
Please
you don't want the
respect the
pictures
rules.
taken. The rules are arbitrary, and
Please
they're
respect
designed
the
to
rules
keep
and
the
give
American
the
people
people
in the dark.
dignity and respect. That's all we ask.
Well, no,
Dignity
it's
and
not.
respect.
You're asking, is this
Please-
dignity and respect? Look at
Please
these people.
give
There's
dignity
a
and
pandemic.
respect to the people.
Let
I
me ask you, there's a
I
pandemic.
respectfully ask you, sir.
There is a pandemic.
With
Is this
full-hearted,
respecting the rights of these
full-heartedly,
kids?
I ask you. Please
Are you
respect
respecting the
people.
rights of these
This
kids?
is not a zoo, sir. Please don't treat the people.
You're right, and this is a
As such.
dangerous place.
Please don't treat the
And
people
your
like
policies,
this. That's all I ask for
unfortunately,
you,
are
sir.
trying to hide them. I understand
That's
you
all
were
I ask
instructed
you.
when 18
I
senators
ask you
came
to
down
please
here.
respect the people, give them dignity
I
and
respect
respect.
them, and I want to fix this situation.
We all want to
and
fix
the
it, sir. We
administration
don't
you're
want
working
this to
for is
happen anymore.
responsible for these conditions.
Please respect the people with dignity and respect,
And
sir.
I ask you to respect the people as well. This
I am
is not
respecting you.
respect.
I am respecting the
This
people.
is not respect.
And there's some lady that Biden's hired who's like, respect the children, respect their privacy. And it's like, no. When it came to Trump administration, Trump allowed the media to see the border. Now, what did they do? They said, oh, he had kids in cages and all this other stuff. And yet underneath Biden, the cages that Trump actually closed and had, Biden's now opened those cages up to fit more people in there. Not only has he opened the cages up to fit more people in there, it's like there's 4 to 5 times more people. And now the media's claimed they're migrant facilities. So for Trump, they're kids in cages. For Biden, they're migrant facilities. And it's just like, it's such a double standard. Then when you're looking at the video from Senator Ted Cruz, when he's trying to record the people, they're hobbled on top of each other. Now, there's already been stuff that's come out that said at least 10 to 20% of the people who are coming from the border have COVID. Now, this is also supposed to be administration that's supposed to be, oh, COVID's so bad, we got to slow the curve and stop the spread. And yet, COVID's running rampant at these facilities, really the same cages, even more now, underneath Biden. COVID is running rampant, and yet I thought we were supposed to be slowing the spread. So on top of not having a plan, not allowing the media to see what's happening down there and letting the American people know, there's no transparency. COVID's still going crazy even down in the facilities. It's like, what's really going on? Like, he ran on the whole promise of he's going to fix the border, and he's actually made it worse. Like, at this point, it seems like Biden's just made everything worse. He can't even walk upstairs correctly. The border's destroyed. He already destroyed the Keystone Pipeline, so people don't have jobs. Gas prices go up. Like, I just don't know. I don't know what's going on here with the whole Biden administration. It's just like everything they ran on, they're not doing. It's like everything they said Trump was, that's what Biden is. And it just makes little to no sense. Like, the people at the border, they've even had a story. Well, Biden even said it himself. When a reporter was asking him, like, some 9-year-old kid walked or came all the way from Honduras to the border. Now, do you know how far Honduras is to get to the border? That's like thousands of miles. And they said he walked. How are they walking? It's also another reporter who asked Biden, like, you know, Biden, because you have these open border policies, you have parents sending their kids over here to try to get into the U.S. Now, I know, like, you know, people may say, you know, they're just running and they're trying to get to a better life. If they want a better life, you have to do it the right way. And that's why we have ways to gain citizenship. You can do visa, you can do any of that and get a work permit, whatever you need to do to be able to get into the U.S. But the way we're just letting these people in droves, there's no room for them. COVID's going crazy. There's no transparency. It's a crisis, but you won't see the media calling it a crisis or trying to get to the bottom of it. Now, there are some media that are you know, but not all of them. So it's just like, what's really going on here? If everything I say is cool, it's like if I say, oh yeah, my business, we're so friendly and we're taking care of the homeless and we're feeding them every day, and someone says, well, can I go down to your little, I guess, place to see how you're feeding the homeless people and, you know, take a video of you taking care of them? And I say, no, y'all aren't allowed till we have a plan. And then you get down there and you see we actually have the homeless in horrible conditions and we're feeding them scrap food. And I have somebody posted up saying, no, you need to respect their privacy. They're not like kids in a zoo.
This is not a zoo, sir.
Like, bro, you're tripping. You're tripping. You know it doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make sense, man. And the media just keep on, you know, passing it by as, you know, Biden's, I guess he's trying to get it done. Biden doesn't really address anything. They've even showed a video of Kamala Harris when she's asked about the border. She laughs about it.
Do you plan to visit the border?
Not today. But I have before, and I'm sure I will again.
So it's just like, it doesn't really make any sense, you know. They said orange man bad, but really it's like Biden's worse. So yeah, that's what's happening at the border right now. You know, we just have a lot of, you know, immigrants trying to come in, and it's even gotten even worse because when these immigrants come into the country, they've even shown lots of illegal immigrants coming over with Biden t-shirts on. So what this is already telling me is that Biden's having this open border policy, whatever he's trying to do, that he can't control. You know, you already have black people who, like myself, went from Democrat to Republicans. Now that you have a lot of, you know, people of color waking up to the pandering that's happening from the Democrats, they're starting to switch to Republican. So based on that, what do you think they need to do? They need to find some people who are still going to vote for him. So they're letting in all these immigrants come into the country. They're all wearing Biden shirts. So off rip, they're going to be biased. The person who let me into the country, I'm going to vote for them regardless. So eventually, they're going to let in so many immigrants that they're going to actually become the main voting population of the Democrats. And that's just the truth. There's no other way to describe it. If all the illegals are coming over, if hundreds and thousands of illegals are coming into the country and Biden's just letting them in and they're wearing Biden t-shirts and they're going to vote for Biden, that's the only reason he could be doing it. It doesn't make any sense. And, you know, there's no transparency from this administration. None.
We'll always be honest and transparent with you about both the good news and the bad.
Like anything they do, it's no transparency. The media doesn't want to cover any of it. Biden won't allow people to go see what's happening down at the border. It's just like, so what are you covering up? What are you hiding? You know what I mean? This is kind of like how when people said the election was stolen or so, and people tried to show proof, and big tech censored people, and they put up all these misinformation and fact checkers. And now that the Biden administration's up, I see no fact checkers. I see no misinformation happening. So it's just like, what are we covering up? Make it make sense. But yeah, man, I just wanted to let y'all know that. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I just wanted to get that out there. And it's been your boy Chad, and I'm out. Peace.
This is not a zoo, sir.
We'll always be honest and transparent with you about both the good news and the bad.